Cloud computing comes in different forms, and understanding the difference is essential if you're beginning your journey into cloud technology. You may have heard terms such as public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. But what do these terms actually mean? And more importantly, which one is right for a business? In this video, we'll break down all three using simple, real-world examples, without unnecessary technical jargon. Welcome back to Bewlynx, where we make technology simple and practical. Let's get started. Let's begin with the big picture. When we talk about public, private, and hybrid cloud, we're describing different ways organizations can deploy and manage their cloud infrastructure. The three main models are 1. Public cloud, 2. Private cloud, 3. Hybrid cloud. Although they all provide computing resources, they differ in areas such as ownership, access, management, cost, and control. Let's examine each one. First, we have the public cloud. A public cloud is an environment where computing resources are provided by a cloud service provider and made available to multiple customers. Some of the world's biggest public cloud providers include Amazon Web Services, or AWS, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud. Here's a practical comparison. Consider an apartment building. The building is owned and managed by a property company, while different tenants occupy their individual apartments. Each tenant has their own private space, but the underlying building infrastructure is managed by the property owner. Public cloud follows a similar principle. The cloud provider owns and manages the physical infrastructure, including data centers, servers, storage, networking equipment, power and cooling systems. Customers then rent or consume these resources according to their requirements. Importantly, although multiple customers use the same cloud platform, their applications and data are logically isolated from one another. There are several important reasons. 1. Lower upfront cost. A business doesn't need to purchase an entire data center before launching an application. Instead, it can pay for the computing resources it needs. 2. Scalability. When demand increases, additional computing resources can be provisioned quickly. When demand decreases, resources can also be reduced. 3. Global availability. Major cloud providers operate data centers across different regions of the world, allowing businesses to deploy applications closer to their customers. 4. Reduced infrastructure management. The cloud provider manages the underlying physical infrastructure, allowing the customer to concentrate more on its applications and business operations. Consider a new online business launching its first application. Instead of investing heavily in servers, storage, networking equipment, power systems, and cooling, the company could deploy its application on AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud. The cloud provider manages the underlying infrastructure while the business focuses on delivering its product or service. That's the fundamental idea behind public cloud. Next is the private cloud. A private cloud is a cloud environment dedicated to a single organization. The key word here is dedicated. Unlike a public cloud environment, the infrastructure is designed for the exclusive use of one organization. A useful way to understand this is through property ownership. With a public cloud, you're essentially using infrastructure provided by someone else. With a private cloud, an organization has a dedicated environment that gives it much greater control over how that infrastructure is designed and managed. A private cloud can be hosted within the organization's own data center, in a dedicated third-party data center, or through a managed private cloud provider. One of the biggest reasons is control. The organization can have greater control over infrastructure, networking, security policies, data management, access controls, compliance requirements. This can be particularly valuable for organizations handling highly sensitive information or operating under strict regulatory requirements. Consider a large financial institution that manages sensitive customer and financial information. The organization may have specific security, regulatory, or operational requirements that influence where certain systems and data can be hosted. A private cloud can provide a dedicated environment where the organization has greater control over those workloads. However, greater control also means greater responsibility. Private cloud environments can require significant investment in hardware networking security, maintenance, data center facilities, skilled IT professionals. So while private cloud can provide greater control, it can also be more expensive and complex to operate. Now let's move to the third model, hybrid cloud. Hybrid cloud combines a private cloud or on-premises environment with public cloud services. The key idea is that an organization doesn't necessarily have to choose one environment for everything. It can keep certain workloads in its private environment while using public cloud services for others. Let's look at a practical scenario. Consider a company that has a database containing highly sensitive customer information. The company may decide to keep that database within its private environment. At the same time, its customer-facing website could operate in the public cloud. The two environments can communicate with each other when required. For example, private environment, sensitive database; public cloud, website and application. This combination gives the organization greater flexibility over where different workloads are deployed. Hybrid cloud is particularly useful for organizations that need a balance between control and scalability. Consider an online retailer preparing for a major shopping event such sales. During most of the year, the company's existing infrastructure may be sufficient. However, during a major sales event, traffic could increase dramatically. Rather than purchasing enough physical infrastructure to handle that peak demand throughout the entire year, the company could use public cloud resources to handle the additional workload. This approach can be known as cloud bursting. The organization can therefore maintain its existing infrastructure while taking advantage of public cloud capacity when additional resources are required. Hybrid cloud can provide greater flexibility, additional scalability, more control over sensitive workloads, better utilization of existing infrastructure, a gradual transition to the cloud. Let's put the three models side by side. If you're studying cloud computing, here's a straightforward way to remember the difference. Public cloud. Shared resources are provided by a cloud provider and used by multiple customers. Private cloud. Dedicated. The cloud environment is dedicated to one organization. Hybrid cloud SHACS combination. The organization combines public cloud services with private or on-premises infrastructure. So remember, public, shared, private, dedicated, hybrid combination. There's an important point that beginners often misunderstand. Public cloud does not mean that your data is publicly available. The term public refers to the cloud infrastructure being offered to multiple customers. It does not mean that one customer's files, applications, or databases are openly accessible to another customer. Cloud providers use technologies such as identity and access management, encryption network, isolation security policies, authentication, access controls to protect customer environments. So remember, public cloud does not mean public data. Let's bring everything together. Today we covered three major cloud deployment models. Public cloud infrastructure, provided by a cloud provider and used by multiple customers. Private cloud, a dedicated cloud environment designed for a single organization. Hybrid cloud, a combination of public cloud and private or on-premises infrastructure. And the easiest way to remember them is public could be illustrated as shared, private could be illustrated as dedicated, hybrid could be illustrated as combination. Once you understand these three concepts, you'll have a much stronger foundation for learning more advanced cloud technologies. Now that we've covered the major types of cloud computing, the next question is, what exactly do cloud providers give you? That's where IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS come in. These three service models explain the different levels of technology and responsibility provided by a cloud service provider. IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS will be explained in the next video using simple examples that are easy to remember. If you found this video useful, like the video, leave a comment, and tell me which cloud topic you'd like to see next. And subscribe to Bewlynx for more practical and easy-to-understand content on cloud computing, networking, IT, smart buildings, and emerging technologies. Thank you for watching. Keep learning, keep growing, keep succeeding. I'll see you in the next video.